I understand that when I'm in the room, they don't care about me.
Yeah,
they
facts.
care about how I can help them.
Yeah.
And so most of the time when I'm talking, I don't start off with me. I hear people, they talk about all the things they got and all of nobody cares. Now I know some people like, well, this build authority. Well, for a weak-minded person. But when you connect into people's hearts, you gotta go in there with the initiative to help them build them.
Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the On the Pursuit podcast. We interview 6, 7, 8, even 9-figure entrepreneurs. And I try to ask, so I don't try, I'm asking them, what are some of the obstacles that they went through that allowed them to be successful? So we can take that information, give that to you completely for free so you can get to your success a little bit faster. And in today's episode, I'm a little cold right now because I'm saying with the king of content, Mr. Dontel Antonio. What's up, man? Welcome to the podcast.
Man, what's going on, King? I appreciate you for having me. I'm excited. We supposed to been did this. I was just moving a little slow, but I'm here.
Listen, I want to tell you guys something. I always tell you that anyone that you want to get on the podcast, you can absolutely get on the podcast. All you need to do is ask. You need to ask, but you also have to do some follow-up sometimes. And you cannot make the follow-up personal. You can't make the follow-up personal. I'll give you an example. Dontel and I have talked a few times through the DM, right? He's always gotten back to me. Sometimes right away, sometimes not right away, but he's always gotten back to me, right? So what I'm saying is, I had asked him, hey, you want to come on a podcast? Yes, I want to come. When can we do it? No response. Let's say a week later, a couple months later. Yo, what's up, man? I'm excited. Let's get on a podcast. You want to get on a podcast? Yep. No response. It was hard to lock him down, right? So I didn't take it no way. I didn't take it personally. I didn't personalize it. But we ended up seeing each other in a live event. And bro, I gave the dude a hug like I already knew him. I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? Gave him a hug. He showed me some love too. And then immediately it was like, all right, boom. Yo, we got to do it, right? So I say that to say, if I would have felt the way, if I would have personalized it, we would not have even been here. And there's a lot of people watching and listening to this that might have a podcast, but the reason why you don't have the guest that you want, or maybe you didn't launch the podcast, or whatever the case may be, is because you're tying an emotion to it. And sometimes you tie emotions to things, it stops your progression in that situation. You know what I'm saying? We 100% would not have been at this place at this moment with the king of content sitting with me on a podcast if I would have allowed that to be emotional for me.
Yes, and to be honest, what happened was I every time you said something, say, yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll. And then that dang link, man, it be the link. I be moving and doing too many things. And then I got social media managers. And so they be on my page. And so I'm like, oh, man, I ain't get back to them in time. I'll just wait.
Yeah.
And then when I see you, it was love because I know who you are.
100%. 100%.
So
I was like, damn, listen, I gave my man some love because I know him. I was a little surprised at the love back, you know what I'm saying? And it's not because, I mean, I didn't expect it, but it's not because I didn't feel like I appreciated it. But it's like, it's different because you never know who's paying attention to you. You know what I'm saying? And I think that just goes to show, if you're consistent, you do your thing, you know what I mean? You put out some goodwill, you put out good value, you know, you're showing up authentically as yourself. People are going to see that and they're going to recognize it. Even if you don't think nobody's watching, some people pay attention.
100%.
Pay attention, bro.
Especially on these online streets. Like
these internet streets.
You know what I'm saying? When you send somebody that's good at what they do, you like, oh, man. Oh, yeah, he good at what he do. Oh, he can speak. Oh, he good at that. Oh, yeah, he ain't playing no games.
Yeah.
So it's like I was excited to be on the podcast. I just got distracted. I got a little ADHD.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. And the link that he's talking about, so I put a link together to make it easy for people to book. But I mean, I guess in some instances, it may not always be easy. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you can't create everything that's gonna work for everybody, but you will get whatever you want if you put some intention on it. So with that being said, man, you share a little bit about your story and how you've gotten into content. And I think one of the things that I even learned from just kind of tapping into your story is the idea that you didn't just start doing this. You know what I'm saying? This ain't a decade situation. Like you've been in the content even before you knew what was content.
100%.
Back when you was a teen. You know what I mean? So why don't we start there a little bit for those that may not know you. If you don't know who this guy is, you definitely need to get from behind that internet rock and pay attention and see what's going on. So let's talk about, the young Dontel, the prince of content at that time, who didn't maybe fully understand the powers of the content back then. Why don't you take us back there real quick and figure out, for the people, how you ended up discovering, your prowess in content.
100%. So I'm a kid from Chicago. My daddy got killed when I was 1. My mother was on dope. So I'm a real project baby and crack baby. And I ain't know no better. So all my uncles, all my family was like enforcers. So my family, we stood on principles. And so for me, I wanted to be a artist at a point, right?
Everybody did, bro.
I didn't know no better. And it was this guy, he was doing our mixtape cover. And he was just moving too slow. And so I ended up reaching out to him and saying, hey, bro, you moving too slow. What we doing? And he ended up giving me this program at the time. I was about 13 years old. This program was Photoshop. And when he gave me this program, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. I stayed up 24 hours attempting to create a graphic. And so for me, I'm like, man, I got to learn this thing. And so I run outside in the streets, play around, do crazy stuff. But when I get in the house, I'm up all night learning Photoshop. And I really believe content saved my life, right? Because I was a gang member, active. I was a leader, but I wasn't pushing people the right way because I was doing the dumb stuff because I didn't have no guidance. And so I had a mentor who came in my life and saved my life and started teaching me business because he was an entertainment lawyer. And he started teaching me business, and every element that I wanted to learn, he provided it. So when I wanted to use Photoshop better, he pondered a TV to get me a computer that was fast enough to handle it and stuff like that. And at that moment, I didn't know what content was, and I have not stopped creating content since I was 13. So I went from as a graphic designer, middle school, doing all the graphics, high school, doing all the graphics. Then I transitioned to Atlanta, and I went to the Art Institute of Atlanta as a graphic designer, then as a photographer, then as a filmmaker, and then I started shooting music videos, and I blew up artists. So many artists in 2013, I blew up artists, and my whole career was as a music video director. And so I worked with every single record label you can think of. And I was really, really on getting paid top dollar as a music video director. And then I just looked at the artist and I was like, this ain't what I want to do. And so while I was on my top, I retired from as a music video director and went to a film director, right? And I started shooting movies. And then as you shoot movies, that costs money. And so my bank account just started trickling down. And I said, well, I want to keep doing this. And how can I keep doing this? And I started learning how money work and America work. And then, so I've been I really love content, but the reason why is because it saved me. And now I use it to help save other people.
What's up, y'all? So I want to take a second to speak to my creators. So whether you currently got a podcast or think about launching a podcast, maybe you got a YouTube channel and you think about launching a YouTube channel. Here are the facts. Did you know that 9 out of 10 creators actually quit because they don't have anyone to hold them accountable? That's why all you need to do, right? Click that link below, join my Action Takers community, because not only are we gonna hold you accountable, we're gonna teach you how to execute at a higher level. Plus, give you access to principles and strategies to grow your mindset and generate more revenue. So what are you waiting for? Click that link below and join one of the fastest growing content and accountability communities, all right? I'll see you on the inside. So I like that story, man. And I gotta empathize with you because both my parents, well, I don't know about you. Is your mom still here?
Yeah, she's still
right,
here.
So
she's still lost though.
So my dad passed away. My mom passed away. I was around drugs. I used to go to crack houses with my mom just because I wanted to be with my mom, and she would be doing the drugs and I would just be in a room. You know what I'm saying? I would see the needles. I would see the coke. You know what I'm saying? The weed. You know what I mean? I would see the pleasure that she would be getting from the substance. And I was just a kid. You know what I'm saying? I remember when CDs first came out, and I was just fascinated that it was a smaller record, and you open up the CD and you can kind of spin it around in the little thing.
Yeah.
So I was just fascinated by that. But the reason why I'm connecting with you on that is because those are moments that happen to you, happen to me, right? You've been able to take some of those moments, you developed a skill at a young age that you didn't know what the skill was. You still had what sound like a dynamic childhood on the outside.
100%.
But then on the inside, you have something else that was creative, that was drawing your attention, that kind of kept you interested in a lot. It was like a puzzle, you was figuring it out. But also you had these moments of impact that you were allowing to kind of get into the content creation, which at that time, like, we didn't know what content creation was, but you were creating things, right? You was creating these graphics, you was creating, helping out these artists, right? You was on these movie parties, these movie productions and stuff like that, with these moments in this mindset that I'm able to use my imagination and create out of this, and it can be something.
Mm-hmm.
And now fast forward with the age of social media, content being a buzzword, you know what I mean? How are you utilizing the mediums that are available to you to tell your stories now in content form and then help people? What's that looking like?
I think it's a blessing. Like, I'm like a kid in a candy store, right? And so I get to see you, and I hear what you attempting to do, and where you struggling, and where your blockage is. And I get to allow you to release that so it can connect with your audience, no matter if it's on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, no matter what platform it is. I'm helping you be your authentic self and connect so you can really serve that person and scale your business and help their business, right? And so it's so fun because it's like every project that I get is like a little movie to me. So every time we creating content, we make sure it's like, okay, this stand out. And I'm not gonna lie, at a point I got I used to spend on my own productions, let's say I'll spend like, to do something outside of the box, I'll spend like $8,000 to $10,000 on one content shoot. But then I started to get lazy because I seen everybody doing talking heads, and I'm like, well, I'll just pull out my phone and do it too. And then I realized, like, nah, that ain't my specialty. So for a time, I was okay with that for me and for my clients. And now I'm like, no, we got to stand out, and the content that we create must be different from anybody else in the marketplace. And so now I make sure that all my clients and myself, we make sure our client is unique to us and what it is that we doing.
So if someone is discouraged about content creating because they're worried about, okay, Instagram's not really hit me with that organic, TikTok is not really hit me with that organic, YouTube, it's taking a long time for me to grow on those platforms. What are you telling those individuals who, to your point, should create as their authentic self, but they're not getting, let's say, that instant gratification, right? Or they're not really growing in a compressed amount of time with being themselves and creating the content, right? What are you telling those individuals to keep them motivated, involved in the content creation process, and detaching from that instant gratification?
First of all, instant is instant, right? It happens and it goes away instant. And so everything that we doing is long term. It's positioning, it's power, and it takes time. And if you sitting there waiting for organic, it's gonna take forever because social media is not built for organic. It's built for advertisement. And so you gotta put yourself in front of your people. And if you sit there and wait, time is gonna go by. And so you got to get outside of your head and understand that every seed that you plant, every piece of content is a seed, and it's just getting planted. You might can't harvest from it at this moment, but it will play out and you'll see the bigger picture. Just stay consistent. Don't get discouraged, and understand that instant is not what you want. You want something that's long term. And the only way you can do that is if you pour into the people.
I like that, man. I like that a lot. I mean, if you really think about it, if you and I go out right now and we plant a seed for, I don't know, let's say, you got a favorite vegetable or something out here? Beets, cucumbers.
Watermelon.
Boom, we plant a watermelon, right? We plant the seed in the soil, right? It has to get the sunlight. We got to water it. We got to take time. And they got to grow down first before it come up. That can't happen instantly.
Nah.
Now, we can go buy a watermelon, but nowadays they clones. They ain't even authentic. You know what I'm saying? So I 100% get what you're saying there, man. So I got to ask, right? Selfishly for myself and for the people, what is a winning content formula? What are the pieces that someone can listen right now? The next time they pull out their phone, the next time they pull out their camera, these 3 pieces of content, well, these 3 pieces, these checkpoints that they need to hit in the content creation will position that piece of content to potentially do well on their page. What are those elements?
PSA.
What's the PSA, bro?
Number 1, P is problem. Whenever you creating a piece of content, you want to always start off with stating the problem and not introducing who you are, because nobody cares.
So give me an example.
Right? So if you're an entrepreneur and when it comes to creating your content, you shy? All right? I stated the problem. So anybody that's for, they're going to stop. And when they stop, they're going to want to listen more. And then the S is solution. Well, what I want you to know, you ain't really shy. You just overthinking and you don't know who you talking to. So let me teach you how to talk to the person that you meant to talk to. And then A, actionable step. What I want you to do right now, if you feel like you shy, for the next 7 days, I want you to create a piece of content. But for the first 6 days, I want you not to post the content, just look at it. And on day number 7, I want you to post the content to social media, and I want you to tag me or send it to me in a DM.
Boom, that's powerful, man. So you got problem, solution, and then the actionable steps, right? So when people make content, right, they should use those elements when they're cooking. Correct. So every piece of content should have that similar formula, and it should be intentional.
The formula,
and be intentional.
100%. Because what happens is the value that you giving them people inside of that thing makes them want to share it or save it. See, most people looking at likes and views, but I believe likes and views kill self-esteem. Right? But shares and saves mean that it was powerful enough for them to share it with their audience. And what's happening is most of the content that you probably putting out, all you want to do is sell, buy my stuff. It's 99% off. Why would I share that? Because it's not helping me. See, everybody is selfish. So they want to, whatever something that can help them, then they will relate to it and connect to it. But if you just selling your product, it's going to go over their head.
Yeah. That's not going to work at all, man. So I got the content down, right? We got the formula. We got the strategy. We got the formula. Now, how do I take this formula and this strategy and turn that into a mother sale? How I turn that into a sale, Dontel? Break that down.
Easy. Inside of the caption, we give the call to action, right? So what we do, number 1 is we'll state the problem, and then we'll agitate the problem. And then we say, hey, we got this type of solution. DM us this word. And the reason why we say DM us this word instead of going to the link in the bio is because once they DM you, now you can follow up if they don't go and get the thing. But if you tell them go to the link in your bio and they never opt in or nothing like that, you don't even know who they are.
Yeah, you don't even know if they even clicked the link.
No, you don't know nothing. So we force them with a simple command to go to the DM, because that command helps us close better. Because once they do that, now they probably to listen to us more, because we already broke their beliefs in the content. Then we gave them something to do, and that thing that they did, that actionable step, gave them a small win. That small win made you a leader in what it is that you do, and you help solve some type of simple problem that they had. Now they trust you more. And now you command them to the DM. And when you command them to the DM, do not push them to your $5,000 offer first or $10,000 offer. Give them a small value, low ticket offer first, so they can build even more trust and see the value. And then from there, you push them to something. What I love to do is I push them to a free webinar first so they can see the value. And then from the webinar, I give them something at a lower ticket, some couple $100. And then from there, we'll push them up to something for a higher $5,000, $10,000 and up. But first, I let them build with me. And see, sometimes what happens is you push them straight to a sale and they not ready. But you're not willing to nurture them. And so what happens is all of the content that comes out is a nurturing thing. So all we doing is nurturing our people nonstop, even if they don't buy right now.
So that brings up a really good point. When you have your call to actions on the content, not all call to actions have to be a sale. A lot of it can just, like you mentioned, be value, be adding, solving a problem, not even asking for the money, send them to a webinar, collecting the data. Now you have the data, you can nurture them on the back end, present them even more value, and or, like you said, offer them something low ticket, and then ascend them, right? Or get on the call and see what that problem might be and then serve them on the highest level.
100%.
Yeah.
And when you think about them first, you're going to always think about them first. right? Most people put the money first. Oh, let me, I gotta close this because I need to pay a bill. Well, that means you was doing something wrong, right? We don't gotta force nobody. If you ready, you gonna stand out, and you gonna raise your hand and come get the help. 100%.
So what have you learned in your journey of content creation, right? Because there's things right now that might be obstacles, there might be hurdles, there might be just like new levels you want to ascend to that may have been different when you were actually starting to package this in the digital side, right? So what are some of the things that you are facing right now that are keeping you going to that next level?
I think it's just like a lot of entrepreneurs, man. You get that paralysis. You get so much new information, and it's like, man, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to add this. And the biggest thing is like understanding when it's shelf information. And what that means is
understanding when the shelf information.
100%. Because a lot of times what we do is when we get some new information, we ready to use it, but it throws us off a course. And so only focus on what you focused on. So like for us, this big year was like community and events, right? So our focus for whole 2023 was building our community bigger and then throwing events. And so anything else outside of that, we shelved it. And so I think that was the biggest thing for me, to learn how to shelf information instead of creating a gumbo pot and putting everything in it, and be like really focused on what I'm focused on.
So when you shelf information, where are you putting it? Are you storing that information, let's say, in a Google Drive, and you're like, yo, I'm gonna pick this back up in a couple of months? Are you storing it into like a second brain? They got the AI second brain where it's kind of like, you know, I'm gonna put it away, but I can still I can still have it organized. So when I get back to it, it'll be organized and I can just kind of attack it. Or you just chucking it. Like, how are you shelving?
For me, I'm Google Drive all day. Google Drive is my best friend.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever you put your notes, if it's your cell phone, if it's pen and paper, whatever it is, just put the information to the side, because focus on what you focused on and really master that, and then add it. Because a lot of times you seeing somebody that, oh, this worked for me, this one. Yeah, but they might be at a different position or a different level, and you still attempting to figure some things out, or you ain't did none with the information that you bought before, because we buying this information. So we all in the buying information business.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we don't need to buy it just because it's somebody else is doing it right now.
So when I saw you on the stage, you came through very dynamic, charismatic, spoke with a leadership tone, brought the drama, created the engagement, kept the attention. That's from my perspective. And then you obviously presented the information. What has allowed you to become a better speaker to the point where you can connect with the people from the stage? Because there's a lot of people afraid to get on the stage, man. There's people afraid to just go on a IG Live.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Or just being on a virtual call and stuff like that. So what do you feel like has helped you get to the point where you can be your authentic self, articulate your information from a commanding space, and help people from the stage?
Clear direction. I think that's the biggest thing. I just got really, really clear on what it is that I'm doing. So when I'm on the stage, I'm in my comfort zone, right? I know what I'm talking about and how I'm talking about it, because I'm not confusing the people by talking about 20 million other things. And so for what I do, I go the deepest so I can connect psychologically. And then another thing is, when it comes to speaking, I understand that when I'm in the room, they don't care about me.
Yeah,
they
facts.
care about how I can help them.
Yeah.
And so most of the time when I'm talking, I don't start off with me. I hear people, they talk about all the things they got and nobody cares. Now I know some people like, well, this build authority. Well, for a weak-minded person. But when you connect into people's hearts, you got to go in there with the initiative to help them build them. And so that's what I do when I'm on stage. I go in there and I make sure what I'm doing is for the people sitting down, not to inspire them, not to motivate them, to actually give them tools they can use right now to make a difference in the world.
How has content saved your life? What did it save your life from?
Man, so many different things. But like I said, I was really in them streets. You feel me? So, content gave me hope. Gave me hope. guidance. You know what I'm saying? Gave me something extracurricular to do because the things I was doing.
They were too extracurricular.
Yeah, I'm really like that. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because I ain't had no guidance. And so since I ain't had no guidance and I'm valued on principles and loyalty and my word is my word. And so back when I was younger, like if you my friend and somebody do something to you, it'd be me pulling up. And I ain't talking about fighting. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like content gave me
Purpose.
Big purpose. And I didn't know how it relates to life, how I made it relate to life. Cause I'm one of them people too that I was in and out of foster care. I was different people taking care of me, different people helping me. And so I learned how to use content in a way to impact others. And so when I teach content, I teach it from an impactful way because so many people poured into me and helped me along my journey that I cannot take that for granted. And so I make sure two things that I love, helping people and creating content, I put it together.
No. I think that's good. And I think there's so many different ways that I've seen you do. I've seen you, be able to do that in a way that just comes off authentic. You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm not being nobody else but me.
100%.
100%.
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw a couple names out there. You let me know, what comes to your mind in terms of like the content creation that they put out. And then you can let me know who are some of your inspirations. So what about Ryan Serhant?
Cool. I like his content.
Yeah. What do you like about his content?
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. He's in the real estate space.
Yeah. But he killed it though.
Yeah.
Like, and the way he educate, he got the good look. Like he, and he's really giving value.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Grant Cardone.
Grant is hilarious, but Grant master. I tell people it don't matter what age you are, right? And for what Grant did at the age that he started, it's mind blowing. Like you gotta think he started going crazy in his 50s. And so when I see older people online that get intimidated by content, I'm looking at look at Grant. He didn't make no excuses, and he didn't let the lack of technology or the lack of not knowing stop him from creating, and he show up as him.
Facts. Ryan Pineda.
Ryan, I like his content too. I like his oh man. I like how he do his content. Actually I follow Ryan, so I like what he do.
Yeah, he's very interesting. I think he has a good combination, as I think you do too, of the organic and then the content that is for the ads. You know what I'm saying? I think he does a good job of both of those. Gary V.
Gary, I love Gary. I think he when it comes to content space and being ahead of the time. I think he was outspoken, cause you could go back and see him in 04, 05, creating content and very meaningful, because when I was creating content, I didn't know that it was a world, and he knew that it was a world ahead of time. I was just doing something I loved.
Yeah.
I didn't see the business side of it, and he did early on.
Shannon Sharp.
Shannon, clean cut podcast, have a trajectory, was able to transform. And I think that's big, going from athlete to a podcaster and then actually having something that's stand out, that's relatable, the questions he asks and everything like that. So I think just being able to pivot really, really well.
Walla,
man, real story. Somebody who was away from the world for 2 decades to come back out and be them, but stand on principles. I think, and he came out motivating and inspiring even when he ain't had nothing. I really respect that.
Yeah, I like him too. I think one of my favorite pieces of content that I've seen Walla create was he I don't know if he still does it. I haven't seen one recently, but he used to do the rain content.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he would just literally just go out in the rain, get poured on, but then just get a game. You know what I'm saying? Just say what was on his mind.
It's a little different now.
Yeah. Facts, right. And he used to go tape the phone on the side of the building. You know what I'm saying? Just go crazy. Because he didn't have a tripod back then. Yes. I think that shines through, because at the same time, you're not making any excuses, which is what you said earlier. It's like, I'm not making this content for me. It's selfish for me if I'm worrying about how it look. If I'm gonna put it out today, if I'm gonna put it out at all, because you're gonna put that out, it's gonna connect, save, motivate, inspire, make someone move, give someone another frame of mind, connect, hold to them. Like for instance, right? You made that piece of content that I keep, leading back to, which was the one when you were chilly, right? That stuck to me, right? That's a moment. I received that. I have that. It's kind of the same way when we listen to music, right?
Yeah.
We catch a song, catch a rhythm, catch a beat, and now we embody that. And that's how your content can be with someone else. Like you can make that powerful impression.
Yeah, and that's how it happens because that's where I come from. You know what I'm saying? I come from shooting music videos, so making stuff emotionally connect.
What's up, y'all? Listen, if you are a business owner or entrepreneur and you juggling your email, your text messages, you don't have a CRM, you don't have any automation, you don't even have your social media posts scheduled, I have the solution for you. What you want to do is tap into the lead attraction system. This is an all-in-one system that's going to handle your text messaging, your email, your CRM, your invoices, get you paid, your digital products, your memberships, your courses, your funnels, and also it's an all-in-one solution. So you can get rid of all these other things. It's in one system. You pay one price every single month. And they also have a weekly office hours so you could tap in and learn while you are breaking in the system. So I don't know what you're waiting for. Tap into the lead attraction system. The link is below. Grab this all-in-one system, grow your business. I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. So when did you start making a bag in content, right? Because a lot of people still aren't seeing, right, the opportunity that you can really start generating revenue. And the reason why I say that, because there's a lot of content creators that are making money, but they're making money on the content, like the brand deals, the sponsorships, you know what I mean? They might get some ad revenue, but they're not generating money off of utilizing content that might be tied to an offer, or might be tied to an event, or might be tied to a retreat, or might be just tied to a mastermind or something like that, a masterclass.
Yeah, but I think in the same thing with the brand deal, it's the same thing. The content is what builds the attention, right? And it's all positioning, right? And so that's what the content do. For me, my first start came in 2013. I was homeless, down bad, but I had an artist that was my best friend, and I was doing all their content, and they ended up blowing up, and when they blew up in 2013, they had one of the biggest records, in the world, and I was able to blow up with that. And so in 2017, I made my first $1 million, but it was as a music video director, right? And then from there, I started doing movies, and then I was like, oh, hold up. This is a little different, because movie money, it takes a while to get your money back.
Yeah, facts.
And so, yeah, back then.
Yeah, man, that's interesting. You're like, yo, I can really get some money in this space.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just, I love what I do. And so even when I first got into it, I didn't know you could make money. I didn't get in it to make money. I got in here to make a difference. And so that's still my same mission. I'm here to make a difference.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the things I do, it's not tradition that everybody else do, because they values and they principles and their integrity is different.
Yeah.
And they got something else fueling them. It might be the money, it might be that, but for me, it's the people. And so when it comes to content, it's just the biggest thing is just having the system together. See, the content is one part, but you must have the system on the back end together in order to even collect anything. And this ain't about advertisement. This ain't about social media platforms paying you. It's about you having something to serve the people, and the people that you serve and pays you.
So what's the importance of having our personal brand tied into the content? And then what's your opinion on, let's say, like athletes also creating content outside of the field, right? Outside of the basketball court, outside of the arena, and then using their personal brand sparked by a content plan, so they have something outside of the sport that they're playing.
I think blowing up your personal brand is the smartest thing ever. Because if you think about any big company, these $1 trillion companies that we think of, we think about Amazon, we think about Jeff Bezos. When we think about Tesla, we think about Elon Musk. When we think about Apple, we think about Steve Jobs. All of these big $1 trillion entities has a personal brand attached to it. When we think about Google, Larry Page, right? So you have to understand that people connect to people and not so much products, and people fall in love with you when you show them who you are. And sometimes it can hurt the business, but majority of the times it helps the business. So if you're a personal brand and you had in your personal brand, you're affecting the growth and the scale of your business. So I am a big believer, show your face.
I like that. OnlyFans, they're going crazy on...
That's over my head.
They're going crazy on content that's gated. You just mentioned the importance of having a personal brand. Is it important for someone that's doing OnlyFans to also have a personal brand on the other side?
Anything that you do in this world, a personal brand attached to it scales it.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
It don't matter what it is. Because people fall in love with people. That's who they connect with.
Yeah.
And the dope thing about having a personal brand, no matter what product or business you start, that personal brand can fuel it quicker.
Yeah. What's a easy way for somebody to get started with doing a personal brand? Like if you had to break down, like let's say even a starter kit, right? What are some basic pieces of equipment somebody can go out, and then we're talking about personal brand. What are some of the things that they should think about doing on a daily? Like what are some of the easiest content they can create to start their personal brand? What are the tools? And then what are some of the pieces of content they should think about creating?
Number one tool, you already got it, your cell phone, right? So just use your cell phone. And a lot of people overthink, content. They like, oh man, posting 3 times a day is the content. But the biggest thing I want you to always remember is you are the content. That's it. So everything in your life is what people are buying into. So whatever you want to show and whatever you show allow people to connect more. So just showing your everyday life attached to whatever that purpose and mission is that you have. Just show it. Keep the camera rolling.
Yeah, I like that. I need to get a cameraman. I'm thinking about it, bro. I think I need to open up that budget.
Yeah. You have to because when you give people that insight, oh my gosh, it just makes them connect to you more.
Yeah. It turns out a little bit different.
Yeah, open the budget. You got it.
You know what I'm saying? You right. You know what I'm saying? So, hanging out with the king of content, we touched on a lot of things here. Let's talk about these webinars, master classes you have. Let's talk about your focus on these events, these live events. Let's just talk about the impact that you're having now moving forward. Because like you said, the intention is going to be on these events, touching the people, making impact.
I'll get back to that. You asked who inspired me when you were saying about...
Yeah. Let's get that.
I gotta get that. Number one person who inspired me is God.
Let's go.
Like 100%. I couldn't let that not.
Let me ask you a question. Are you reading the Bible every day?
No, you want to know what's so crazy? I told myself and I promised myself that I was gonna get into the Bible because I'm not a Bible reader, but I'm a believer, right? And so this year I started to go to church, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I've been going to this church, and my pastor at the church, he was in business for over 25 years. So the way he teaches to entrepreneurs, and it resonates with me. So
it's kind of like Myron a little bit.
It's different.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's different.
But I mean, he teaches business principles.
Yeah. And it's like Myron teaches business principles, but very strategic. Like Pastor Lee Jenkins, where he teaches, like he goes into the Bible and he brings the business out. Not so much like, Myron stick with King Solomon.
Oh, yeah.
We just, like Pastor Lee, he goes in the Bible. Like the other day, he did a business series, and his church is good. It's thousands of people. I'm in North Georgia, so it's right in North Georgia, and then he just bought 15.5 acres to build his church. So it's dope. But he did a thing, and he said, Jesus was a business owner, right? And Jesus being a business owner, but the world didn't see Jesus for being who he is, Jesus. They only looked at him as a carpenter.
Yeah.
And so when he said that, I said, wow, people downgraded him because of the business he did, but didn't look at who the person he was. And then when he went to get his 12 disciples, he, instead of going to the church to get them, what he did was went to the business marketplace. So all of the 12 disciples was business owners.
Yeah.
And so when he, like, stuff like that, it's like, damn, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Never even thought of it like that. And so I'm not in my Bible every day because I'm learning still, but I'm
about to get in that Bible bag. So God is the biggest inspiration.
100%, man.
Yeah.
When I tell you the cards that I've been dealt with in life, especially growing up, was, man, most people will fold. Most people will fold. But I'm here and I made it through the jungle, so I feel like I can make it anywhere in the world.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's like, nobody can stop me. No person on earth has the ability, capabilities, the power to stop me.
Yo, and I feel it, y'all. I don't know if y'all can feel it watching it. I feel it. I believe him.
It's the truth.
I believe him.
Yeah.
So let's talk about these events, man.
Yeah.
Like you got the weekly event. You got your in-persons. So let's talk about that a little bit. Give us the insight of why you created it. What can people learn? What can they receive from it? Why do they need to tap in?
Yes. At first, like I'm a real creator, so I didn't used to do virtual, digital. I didn't used to do none of that. I didn't understand it. I just understood how to make something look good, right? And then I spent like $194,000 in 1 year on personal development. And when I started getting in these rooms and these high level masterminds, I'm like, if I do this, oh man, the lead counts will go up, or my interaction with the people will go up. And so I said, well, I love talking to people anyway. Right. And so
Turn it up.
So I started talking to more people and started getting invited to speak and do more things. And then I started working on my speaking and understanding the deep philosophy behind everything that I say and why I say it and how to move the rooms and how to close if I want to close. And with the webinars, it's like how to give people value nonstop with the challenges, with the events. And the events, I think the events is the dopest part because it costs the most money. But you have the biggest positioning and the impact over the people.
Yeah.
And it actually elevates your brand. And so I really love in-person events because it be community. Having a community is something you need. I don't care what it is that you do. Make sure you have a community of people that is loyal to the mission, because that is what helps you. I have a community. I have a free community. I have a paid community. I have a mastermind. So I have so many different levels of people that allow me to pour into more people better and get deeper in what I'm doing. So yeah.
So when do you have these the virtuals events, and when's the next live event?
Oh, so I do a webinar every Thursday at 8 p.m. So if you go to my page and you just DM me the word workshop, it'll come up. And on there, what's going to happen is I'm going to break whatever beliefs you have, the phobias of content when it comes to being shy. And see, because shyness, people think shy is something real and it's not. And then the overthinking and not being consistent and not knowing how to allow your person to connect with you in your content. Like we go really, really deep in webinars. And it's not the traditional way with presentation. It's like we family on that thing.
Yeah. And then a live event.
The live events, our next live event is in a couple weeks. And then from there, we have a smaller live event, like 30 seats every 2 months.
Okay.
And then we'll have another big one, February 2024. And that should be like probably 500-600 seats.
Yeah. Is that also gonna be domestic, or you doing some international?
No, we're gonna stay here. We gotta win our land first, you know?
I got you. Yeah. Because I was just thinking about the content retreat. You got me thinking about a content retreat.
We got some internal. We do some like we got a content in the Bahamas where we take our people inside and go to the out the country and shoot.
Yeah. You got space for one more?
Oh yeah, you good.
Yeah, let's get it.
Well, now we locked it. Yo, bro. I love what you do, bro. Like even the question that I asked you before we got on is because I really see what you're doing, and I love what you're doing now even more because I think it's super, super smart and it's unique, you know, and I think we in a world that's changing right now, and you can literally be the go-to person for that change to help, you know, the entrepreneur scale. So I just want you to know that. And I apologize for procrastinating online and stuff.
It's all
but
good, bro.
That's why when I see you in person, it's all love because I really love what you're doing.
Yeah. First of all, man, I received that, man. Thank you so much. It means a lot coming from you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take that lightly. I really, really appreciate that. Being able to spend some time with you on the podcast also like that, you know, I'm very appreciative and grateful for that as well, right? Because I value your time. And all the messaging that you have been sharing, you know, I feel like you are doing work even on the pod. And that's why the podcast is so important, right? Because, you know, Dontel's spending time right now. This is out there for y'all. Y'all can share this. You can comment, right? You could download it. You can check out the clips. You can check out the segments. You can save this. It's still going to be relevant in 6 months, 18 months, 3 years, 4 years. And it still can be able to make an impact. So I'm blessed to have you on this episode and being able to continue to further your message to the people. So let them know where they can go to get more insight from you, learn more principles, strategies, lessons about content, how they can implement that into their daily life, how they can just turn up the entire situation by implementing content.
Yes.
Where can they go to get some of this game?
The easiest thing right now is Instagram at Dontell. That's Dontell. Antonio, it'll pop up. And also what I'm doing too, I started a new community called the Content Kingdom, where I take entrepreneur principles and I back them behind content. Right. And so every Tuesday at 7 p.m. we do that on Facebook, but we stream it to YouTube.
I like that.
And so literally my whole goal is to help you win. So you can do two things. Number one, you can grow your business, scale your business to the point where it's a real business and you can pass it down generations like every other ethnicity. Or you can get that business and build it up to the point where you can sell it and use the resources to pass it down, because we don't have enough businesses that say since 1870 or since 1970. Most of our businesses say since 2021.
Facts.
Right? And so I want to make a difference, and the best vehicle to do that is content, because if nobody know you there, they can't support you or buy from you.
100%, man. Make sure you guys definitely tap into Dontell Antonio, the king of content. Giving you a lot of game on this episode, and he will continue to give you game. All you got to do is just follow him on Instagram. Tap into the Content Kingdom. Tap into his weekly webinars. Make sure that you pull up to one of the live events in person and get that energy and allow content to change the way that you operate your business and your life. It's been another episode of the On the Pursuit podcast. I'm Brendan Boyd. That's Dontell Antonio. We'll see you guys on another one. Peace.